All right, good evening. Everyone, it's here for enumerate so yadanyamia CBM ɛwɔ nhwɛsopa ne bamba ɔde abɔ nyinaa ɛne ɔde ama yɛn sɛ enumerate so yɛtumi ɛba na yɛde yɛsikasɛm dwumadie no ɛde ɛba. In fact, throughout the whole year no yɛabobɔ nneɛma bebree so yɛsua nneɛma bebree. But as we always say, no, it's not just listening and ehia. The ehia kasiya pa ne say the more na ye tie in somewhat to say no, then no, ye share ye brem so no, I share areas be maybe you bet me apply some of this information ye no making some changes ya sitting more. And not only us, maybe it could be to say it doesn't pertain to you, but wouldn't be what down for be ubusu and be was our situation some of this information or ube to me I share what sa nipa na to me abua nti enwumre no yabefa akonya we na yama pani Isaac, yabema wakwaba to end the Jumadi no, yadawasipan for debia no. I know, sir, during this time of the year, no, a very busy time for Obia, but through it all, no, this is a unya adaje na oboyen with sa Jumadi no. It's all because of the love. Ye war for era one a tier for and ma you make it time be and you share this information with us. Last week, Nyamiadom, you started something on credit management. You can in fact some of it na you can me bosu kakra na penny ba konso edibi account. One of the things I'm fan say you notice from the beginning is you try say about compare your Ghana and your krum ha yaba. Your boss say Ghana so almost obvious dan in fact wa bre no no akesa de ne bottom cash ne wasi dan no so almost obia toka yade a ono ankasa no na waye adwuma wanya sika no na wakotoka no cash of late na nioma sankakra binum agi loans ne ade a mortgage system no kra no bagana but in the past no na sa nioma ni ho nti na ya system a yade ye adwuma o Ghana no pretty much na ya cash system so what cash no kwa wetu ya nioma bebre but won ni cash na there is so much to me enye na ye two kwan ba krom ha ye ba ye be hu say things are different. Hano use more of a credit system to the point that sometimes okoto yefansa car ukra cash kra they are a little bit hesitant say about ton car no the amount cash because on person who the source of sikan maybe a free bar into things are a little bit different I will say because of the credit system no into you build this system in such a way say without that credit no there's no way so between either a house or a car or certain things be in the normal circumstance no need bulk cash inside the beton wouldn't to me and so how do we help ourselves? One, establish that credit. Two, maintain that credit. Three, improve on that credit as we go forward in the senior ochina bi a stage bi me pesa me kotofie me wo that opportunity ni say metumi atofie no me pesa me kotoka bi me wo sa opportunity say metumi akotoka bi to the point say me ma adru college age bi o hom pesa o mokọ school I couldn't save enough for more college tuition no inti asa meje loan kakra de a supplement you need that credit in order for you to apply for some loan would a bet supplement or manual education. These are some of the things in fact nyame adom yebobo so last week penny beko some of the things that in fact nyama kind of be bi o ha meja bi o na wobetumi ade aba na nyame adom ye ne yedwumadie no so no ade ato aso.
Okay. One of the very key things I'm buy and dispatching in me. So if you be able to come up for and I say be obi wa no onye credit card da. Na yenim say the credit system no. One key instrument within the system here, credit card. That's buying on credit and paying. And say and no establish some credibility. Now, even as you are talking, na me gina idea bi ho. Ebi a jinche bit me aba. But say some fancy be as a corruption no we ase be bia there. Na so on say when there's a credit system where people have the opportunity to buy even when they don't have the money and pay later on. As opposed to a system they don't have sa privilege, I will say be cash, In my mind's eye, I'm thinking that corruption be more in a system where people have no other privilege than to buy cash. Because also in cash in order to in this honest and easy because when you crow, it's when you come up for first when you cash in the piano or first when you cash. But when there's a credit system, interest rate reasonable. People can patronize Sanyo. I don't know, to a greater extent, measure maybe the correlation between corruption and a credit system and the correlation between corruption and a system with no privileges to creditor. I believe that a big our system where there's no credit, That's just by the way. And not can say we are new to the system, maybe our person will share a bit of credit. Not can say o bank cry na wa bank or hono. Say bia o sika sem no call no bia nhyɛ da nko yi a na so yɛ sɛ o kɔpɛ credit or nya do be few. Na I'm say o mention one institution be Capital One and maybe a few other ones be a mono bit me aboa amo me ahye bibia se kakra kosi se obetimi establish your ho na afede wetimi move forward. And I think that one other thing why you kind say credit one hwe ya a bit more deceive like a bay or the nabos a white cards and be na person and can I boa for so. And he mentioned the word discipline throughout our presentation last week, and I was sitting making sure that bet instill discipline in our activities. Said a you're swayed by say, oh, Ghana pa with matoka, Ghana pa with matofi. We they say you we come up and I was a woja jana oji, nay, na woji and not wa apply now just do was a bit maybe not just a ya quiet day. It's not a case ideally, Think a bit me. You are only taking the card to build your credit. In Zambia, I was in Kakoto $200. Now the credit card NATO. So bit me we are not if you don't calculate to every home. Then you possible so try not ye free one tentem. Said a bear cano. And may over or cash or was it or credits in now bro or cash I the down also. That means a deficit. You have no access. At that point, yes, I'm saying Kakra maybe they will come from last week.
Yeah, a Penny Isaac, Yaminshra Webre, that was another key before I remember Dr. Walker key yeah can was some so the fact that ye mu bebre no wa ye use credit no and I say a credit cards as a form say an emergency, so let me use the credit card no. So I use it na me use you know, like you said, and I feel yeah, me nisika me debe tuya sa de off. Until all the time, no one say emergency there's no warning. A bit me I talk to us so like 3, 4, 5 times. So imagine each of them, you know, you use like $500, $500, 6 times. That's $3,000 like right there. So then you are wondering, say, how do I pay Sadi Weina off? Now, quite a big challenge for us. Indeed, from your previous presentation, you established so we are individual and now so we are busuya. So obi abo modern say obenya an emergency fund in place. Or any in place, you wouldn't use the credit card no as your emergency source of income who use it to pay off a cabia a friend saying abba. But you use credit card no responsibly to build and establish a reputation to your lenders. And they say, say Dr. Ua $500, we can trust Dr. Ua say no, Dr. Ua will repay it back. And the only way the lender no will be able to know is through how responsible me use my past credit. And see, now, no, Dr. Wa, Yabema Aquaba to and Yajuma, no, I know, sir, it's been a busy time and a busy month for, but thank you so much for taking the time. And last week, we started on credit management, and we are continuing this week,
Sure.
So, your friend is baby, yeah, draw right now. No, in fact, say one of the things you can and say, never say, yeah, establishes you are new in this country. Waba, how do you establish credit? Last week, you were born near maybe so now you drew one stage. I'm saying a far from here. It's co-signing. Co-signing. I've tried maybe secured credit card. It didn't work. I have tried like other maybe things like store cards. You decline. But we know, sir, I can have somebody possibly co-sign for me. So I will put it to our financial doctors and know what is your take on co-signing? What are the advantages and disadvantages of co-signing? And if I ask Sir Obien co-signing a credit card for me and the person tells me no, do I need to be angry? Do I need to be upset with this person? Yeah, and what is your take on co-signing?
So here's the thing, right? That I always recommend, right? Is that you do not how do I say this? You do not want to co-sign for other people, right? And here's the reason why I say that. Because we're human beings, right? We in the beginning we may appear trustworthy, right? But somewhere along the line, you might fall into financial hardship, right? And you might not be able to pay back the debt, right? And now that debt becomes my responsibility if I co-sign for you, right? And I'm a staunch believer in not co-signing for others because why? Even as an advisor, right? In my lifetime, I've done it where just out of a family or out of the goodness of my heart, trying to help somebody else, I did that, right? And it never turned out right. Right. The good thing is that for me, I'm in a financial place where I'm stable enough to be able to withstand any issue that occur. Right. So I always, if I'm going to co-sign for something, I co-sign knowing that if that person defaults on it, I make enough to be able to cover, and I'm now taking ownership of whatever that thing is. Right. So I always make those decisions with that mindset, right? So to me, if somebody come from, let's say, Africa for the first time, right, and they want to establish credit, right, there's much more effective ways to do it than to go co-sign for them, right? What you could do is, let's say you have 4, 5, 6, 7 credit cards, right? Most people that have credit cards, they have plenty of credit cards, right? It's not a good thing, but they do, right? So let's say you have a sister, a brother, a good friend, or a parent who has decent credit, or who has credit card they've had for several years, right? What you can do is this, right? Instead of asking them to co-sign for you to get your own credit card, you can ask them to add you onto their credit as an authorized user, right? So as an authorized user, you do not have autonomy over the credit, right? Let's say I'm the person that has a credit, right, and you need help to build your credit. If you're my sibling or whoever, I can add you on to my credit as an authorized user, right? And I can choose to give you a card or not give you a card. But either way, a lot of companies will transpose my credit history on to yours now. So like now, all the credit history that I've been built for all those years, you can now get it reported on your credit. That's one of the most quickest ways for people to be able to build what strong credit. As a matter of fact, right? I always advise parents, if you have a strong credit, when your child turns a certain age, you can add them as an authorized user. Even before 18, you can add them as an authorized user on your credit card. And as you make your payments on time, and as you build your credit, you are now also building their credit. So by the time they turn 18, 21, they want to go buy their own house, their own car, they are in a credit position to be able to do that. And they did not have to get a credit card. Everything was done through you adding them on as an authorized user. That's a very, very effective way to build credit, right? You also have, like I said, secure credit, where you go to the bank, you give them a certain amount of money, and then they'll put it in an account, and they'll issue out a credit for that exact amount, right? So, but to me, those two ways are very, and I see happen all the time. But as far as me advising somebody to go co-sign for somebody, I will really, really advise against that, because especially if you are not in the best financial position to be able to withstand in case that person defaults, you should never, ever, ever co-sign. So that's my take on that.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ewa. Penny Isaac, what's your take on co-signing? You can co-signing. What are some of the advantages? A bit me about disadvantage. I'm saying, Dr. Ewa, I some of the disadvantages. Sometimes it comes with if it's a co-signing, and what sign? I admire an additional tools you bet me use to establish our credit if we don't have a credit at all. And what's your take on your fence co-signing?
Okay. Hem say, Osha so kasa na mesre wo mitrim.
Experience, right?
Oh yeah.
In a sense, just it gets challenging, but kind and I'm going to be backing the one kind of from a religious book, and that is going to be even those who believe in the Bible. So I'm going to endorse them, but I'm going to be quoting just 3 of them. And a pen America, men can be able. The Proverbs chapter 22, verse 26. I'll say, be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are shorties for debts. Okay. I think that another version will be me can say, do not be one who gives pledges or who puts up security for debts. And he said, we be short here, and man one. Okay. The second one, no. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 15. Proverbs chapter 11, verse number 15. And also say, he that is a surety for a stranger shall smart for it, and he that hateth suretyship is sure. I think that King James version we want I mean kind from another version. 11 verse 15. Very straight to her. I'll say
Yeah, so NIV, a bit more.
yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say he who is surety for a stranger will suffer, but one who hates being surety is secure. Oh, okay. The last one here, chapter 17, verse 18. I'll say a man without sense gives a pledge and becomes a surety in the presence of his neighbor. And yeah, no, doors may be. And this year, Yamia said, "Be a Bible choir." No, and for the daughter who are kind of so intimate, means I can be.
And on the boat, and
What was that? The NTMA made this question and the bar out there. We have a lot of like misconceptions about cosign. Okay. And personally, I have like bad experiences. I can give like examples and examples of, but a misconception out there is that you to co-sign a loan for you. So I go ahead and do it. The thing said, me no ma co-signing my Dr. Wu. So the thing said, Dr. Wu and I are responsible for the loan, but me mama me co-sign, no, I'm not responsible for the loan. You know, and there's this misconception now. A lot of people know they've bought into it.
Yeah.
See, when you tell Obi say, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I cannot co-sign a deal with Mawa," then they become not my upset. Say, "Oh, I did it. It's just a co-sign. We your mommy we and one where we and oh, but the truth is, they say, if I co-sign for you, me, I am equally responsible to that debt, and no. To say one swap, me kwaji loan in the mouth. And for example, sir, that the lenders and they are so smart, sir. That anytime one Ubeko signing loan any panic default, guess who is the first person they call? They call me. Me co-sign no. Na ye nasa menomen to me like a good reason. Then they call Dr. Wu and say, hey, we loan no in fact, this month when you payment. Intimate why I didn't even know said Dr. 1 year payment, until said they call me. Until they call me, they notify me. The next thing I know, no, I didn't know yet. And the only time they'll call you is when it's like 30 days past due. Already, it's already reported on my credit my default to we wanted to at least talk about this and then your viewers who said co-signing in itself, like Dr. Waka said, it's something it's an option, but there's a better option. The better option will be the authorized user. A boa ma wo establish way. If you also are feel comfortable, say, or they made the Dr. Wabeto me so. Because chances are made the network so when your card. Dr. Wabe to me akọ Bahamas akọ Spain akọ Baka yeyi ewo mimi din mu oh into no just abeye me I don't feel comfortable doing that. So that's why most people know how to say, okay, then let me co-sign for you. You respond, but you are equally responsible for. If you want to co-sign, nobody is stopping you, but you have to be extra careful.
But the mere fact that it's a biblical principle, right, or biblically stated, not to co-sign should tell you all you need to know, right? And here's the thing, right? You mentioned something very important. that when somebody co-sign, they think, oh well, the debt is the person that co-signed for's responsibility. As you mentioned, you are equally responsible, and now it's on your credit also, just like it's on their credit. Let's say now you want to go buy a house. Let's say you co-sign for a 50K loan for a family member. You now want to go buy a house, right? That 50K loan that you co-sign for that person is now counted as part of your debt to income ratio. This shows you why that what you are also equally responsible for that debt in the eyes of the bank or the lender, because they want to make sure that the new item you're applying for yourself, you can afford that. Plus, in case the other person you co-sign for default, you can also afford that debt as well. So it can have significant impact on your finances. So it's a decision you have to make very, very carefully, because it can significantly affect you in a bad way, right? Like I said, people can, no matter how good they are, life can happen. They can lose their job, something can happen. And now, not through any fault of their own, it now becomes your burden, right? So that's why I said, if you're going to co-sign, I advise against it. But if you're going to do it, be very sure and to feel confident that if the person defaults, that you can pick up for that loan and make those payments, because it is going to fall on you, right? And that's why I mentioned the authorized user. To me, is the most cleanest way to do it, because I can see, brother Sim, I can add you on my credit as an authorized user, but I can tell the bank, do not send brother Sim any card. Guess what? You are still getting the benefits of being added to my card, although you don't have a card. It's even better, because now you're just taking advantage of my good credit history.
Right.
And I have a peace of mind knowing that you are not going to outspend my card because you don't have a card. I authorize the bank not to give you one, right? But I'm helping you out. There are literally people that spend money to buy authorized user cards. They find someone who has a very good credit. Let's say they want to go buy a house in like 2 months. Their credit is not as good. They can add, they could pay somebody who has good credit to allow them to add them to their card for like a month or two. And within a month or two, their credit jump like that. So it's an actual thing that people really use. So you should really want to look into that as compared to any other option if you cannot get credit on your own.
All right. Yeah, I'm penning for Yadamase for sharing light onto science. Yet here for Sefena, what joining Yesika some na Yuguswa ya can no ya can about credit management. Now one of the things you spending time kakra on no co-signing. So obi waba wo ne credit na obi boa na yokosan, is it something that yenye so obi sa obi nipa ne ka so ntumi nye mawa, then what do you do? One of the things is yehu and it's credits ye kan ho asem you know, it does not only affect say me kwakoji loan enkwa na affect me. Your credit no affect nneɛma bebree ɛwɔ your sitting mo. Nti yɛpɛ sɛ yɛn mpanimfoɔ your financial doctors na ɛboa yɛn ɛma yɛhu sɛ credit yi a yɛka ho asɛm yi koraa no, what are the areas of your sitting mo a ɛtumi affect yɛn other than your loan a ebi a yɛpɛ sɛ yɛkɔgye sɛ mepɛ sɛ mekɔgye credit card, mepɛ sɛ mekɔtɔ car, mepɛ sɛ mekɔ efie no ɛno deɛ ɛwɔ hɔ. But in addition to that no, your credit play a major role ɛwɔ your sitting mo. What are some of the things that your credit affect ɛwɔ your sitting mo? Na yɛma yɛtie for no ehu ebi wɔ hɔ a some of us we don't even know that, but this will help yɛtie for. Nti your financial doctors give it to me at the comment about on that.
Yeah, so I mean, credit, can affect us in many, many ways. More ways than one, right? Because In this country, anything that you're trying to do somehow, some way is going to be tied to your credit or on how credit worthy you are. If you want to go rent an apartment, they're going to run your credit to see how credit worthy you are. And if your credit is not good, it makes you look, number one, irresponsible, number two, not trustworthy, and number three, they're not going to want to rent to you because you have not demonstrated a history of what payments, or you have some defaults, right? If you want to go buy a house, that's probably the biggest, the most expensive ticket item that a person can buy in their lifetime, right? So why would a bank give you loan to go buy the house if your credit is not good? That's why the bank have guidelines as far as what is the lowest credit score they are willing to accept to give you a loan, right? And guess what? You want to go buy a car, you want to go rent a home, you want to go buy a house, you want to go whatever it is you're trying to do that requires you to go borrow. The person you're borrowing from, the lender, is always going to want to pull your credit. Why? Because they don't know anything about your personal life. But when they look at your credit, they can tell a lot about you. If you have defaults, if you have loans you haven't paid for, if you have a bunch of late payments, if you have a whole bunch of, let's say, liens against you or court judgments against you, that's a red flag right there, and they will run away from you, right? That's why it's so important to protect your credit. And also, if you have bad credit, and let's say, a bank decides to extend you a loan, because your credit is not good or your credit is bad. Let's say somebody who has good credit, maybe the bank might charge that person 3% interest rate. Because your credit is bad, for the same loan, they might charge you 13%. Now, the difference between 3% and 13% is massive on any loan for any period of time. So, literally, your credit score dictates so much of your life. Unless you're rich and you can just go buy everything cash, if you're going to rely on borrowing money, your credit has to be good, to be decent to good or to great, right? And the higher your credit score is, the more trustworthy you are or you appear to any lender, and the more easily they are willing to lend you money. Every single day I get envelopes or letters from different lenders trying to give me money, and crazy low interest rates. But I don't need it, so I don't have to go apply for it, right? But if I was in need of it, I know there's no problem. I can get it because why? My credit is very strong, right? So literally, you need to really, really take care when it comes to your credit. Don't just do it anyhow, or don't let anybody destroy your credit. Because I'm telling you, it is very hard to rebuild that credit once you spoil it. Yes, can you rebuild it? Yes, you can. But it can take you a very long time. And sometimes you might want to get something and you don't have enough time to be able to repair your credit to get that thing. So it can affect you in a numerous amount of ways. So be very, very mindful and be very protective when it comes to your credit. I am super protective of my credit. Super protective. I don't want anybody to touch my credit. If I'm going to go apply for something, I need to know exactly where the lender is going to pull from. Don't just, like, for example, if you're going to go buy a car, most people don't know that the car place is going to shop your credit to so many different banks. Because why? They're trying to see which bank is going to give you the loan to buy the car. Without you even knowing, by the time you leave that car dealership, you have 15 credit pulls on your credit. Do you know how many credit pulls that is on your credit? Right? So it can really, really damage you if you don't know. Right? So, yeah.
All right, Dr. Wa, yeah, that's it. Penny Isaac, what are some of the areas in so your friend say your credit to me make it an impact and make it aware system?
Right. Interestingly, no, yeah, credit, no. Other areas are like if you call nipa and shut down, no, very important. So we must pay attention. One of the areas here, sometimes, it be what to fear for an as be a work current fee. Utility companies, and some of them I want to, see your credit even before they give you a facility now. And Anna omunye stringent there, but when you have good credit, it gives them some comfort. Say, oh,
Right.
most likely you're not going to default. It's important to me keep your credit in good shape. One other area here, it might not really come to mind. Oh, says we'll be all crying out over warrior. I don't know, they be a chroma for never tires idea, but then said who immigrants are involved. But you say they be more money conscious or more credit home by it is a little you might get involved with them Barbecue. So be or or D2 will be answer about warrior no. Almost will be who credit. Because on person phobia only managing the CKE. In other words, the credit is very bad. Who knows nipa we say mo na da chinya de be boy. Kasa no be basa. Enti see anima I was sitting pay attention to sad no. In case e bia so ya ba ware na se bia so credit nya transfer be ni ye. Say sa on your chrono. Say na need this hand on money chia. One here. Don't come to here na bo say. Ware no enya maso. Make I also how are you like open. Credit me. One other area I know say very interesting. Employment. Employment. Sometimes employers check your credit. Minimum says opposite or yeah about my federal government job and there for sure. On check your credit and sana the amount of employment. And yes, our time from time to time you renew your commitment, showing say clean, financial history or good credit. Yes, give it to me. You would until many other areas are in the conventional mainstream, like the traditional mainstream, say be a loan and as be a credit card and be a fee and a car. By your other minor areas are you shouldn't pay attention, but credit play role. And I think just a few of them I may mention to the base here.
Yeah, I'm paying for for throwing light on that. So to add on to the impending for account already, and fans another area, a lot of us we are not even aware. Auto insurance, car insurance. Or also some of these things now can was years ago, not any impact. But things are changing. Where right now, in fact, our auto insurance, the first thing they do is they want to pull your credit. And if you have a good creditor, it translates into you having a better rate. These are some of the things I don't pay attention. Okay, I want to drive, but I need a car insurance. And you'll be surprised to say, same age, same car, same house. You car insurance from the same company, but our rates will be different. And you're probably wondering, different. One is because of the credit history now. Your friends said, one. And to the point, so right now, friends, I hope say we'll cost out for kind of say a new phone line with maybe either AT&T and a T-Mobile and a Verizon. The first thing they try to do is say below credit because they want to make sure say we are responsible say which your friend is saying worker. And you say which worker, then definitely no. Almost so I already say or more land bill your friend is saying sicker. And it's interesting, sir. They pull your credit before giving you the phone or the auto insurance, and I say, however, I'm also no. The payments now you are making on a monthly basis to these organizations, none of them, and I report you to the credit bureaus. until say be default. So we default to the on by report to the credit bureaus, but on a monthly basis, they wouldn't do that. It's now yes, I say I may for no credit now you can want some. It's not just for loans. Some may call loan, but a bit to me about say me compare Juma as Penny Isaac can say and we think so. Me compare a government working kwana me here. No, if you want to work in a financial institution, you need to maintain good credit. Not only that, but some areas, some companies be now also no require that in say because you person say we are responsible. Otumi manage the sika, otumi manage the sika dia den no. Se e fa na adwuma mu a obetumi manage adwuma mu ha nneoma cost nti to your for no se bi in the past na wonim say credit only affect your loans and no, it affects more than the loans and it also affects some areas of your life as you share the year nti your penny for now nyame adom matumi anya credit card ba ko bi me de bomb me ho ban me establishing in kakra ni ade so mo na may who say once say menya that one credit card no and I say two credit cards no what are some of the things as me in order to improve on my score no, and I say to maintain what I have what am I supposed to do and as a magic card and once a magic card na card da hosa what am I supposed to do in order to help me maintain a good credit and possibly improve on it nti na for a credit card no what are the things that they need to do to maintain the credit normal?
Yeah. So oftentimes the mistake people make is they get a credit card. Let's say the credit card has, let's say, a $5,000 limit on the credit card, right? One of the I guess models they use to or factors that help to build your credit, right? Lower or increase your credit is credit utilization, right? How well do you use your credit? They've given you a max 5,000, right? But a lot of people will spend and max out their credit card. That is one of the worst things that you can do. If you max out your credit card, it is going to drop your credit score significantly. Why? Because that is one of the major factors the credit bureaus use to rate your credit, right? So ideally, you want to spend at all times no more than 30% of your total balance that you have. Let's just say you're desperate, you max it out. Make sure you have the money there in your account to pay that down or to pay it off. But you never want to max out your credit card and let it go a whole cycle because it's going to affect your credit significantly. For example, my cards, right? The most I use on my cards at any given time is maybe maximum 4%. Right? So to the credit bureaus, that's an elite credit use level, right? Although you have the credit, it shows that although you have it, you don't really need it, right? And that's what they want. The ones who use your credit a lot and maximize it or max it out, it causes you a lot of problems, especially if you're not able to pay it off. Like now, these credit cards have high interest rates, and you're only making the minimum payments. You're only adding to your debt, right? So you be very mindful. You want to stay within 30% maximum on any credit card that you have. And I think that's one way to start. But to me, especially if you're new to credit, you want to at all times spend as little as possible. If you know that what you're going to buy, you don't have the money in your bank account to pay for it, think twice about it before you go put on your credit card. Because if you don't have the money in your bank account to pay for it, and you're not putting money in your credit card, when are you going to pay that credit card off? It's going to cost you more headache, right? So
Yeah, Dr. Wed, that's in fact, you bring up a very good point. Now, some of us, we don't even pay attention. Sir, one, my max out the credit card, say out, it means is that now I'm paying more interest. Oh, so imagine, sir, one, no, me and already not first, na me credit. Into me credit card, no, the interest rate is already high. In fact, about 10%, 13, 15%, as high as some of them, especially like the store cards, 24%, 30%, yeah, there. And I imagine some max out. So paying like 25% my credit card is on a monthly basis, and it's something which is killing. Oh, in addition, sir, airdrop my credit score and so no. It's also the friends are killing. It's something that we need to pay attention to. That Yes, Penny Isaac.
Okay. I'm saying, Mark has in here. Yeah, kind of throughout, and I was very happy someone I emphasize here. Mesa can be say ideally, very important say who use credit card now, why preparation for CBS Canada. Now you just want to build your credit. And then the credit card no kwakotwa now one way a little bit more possible and Dr. Wa boss say utilization rate, say it needs to be easier to pay it off than say or a balance of 10,000. Now we utilize 8,000. Hey, no that man be to and I was say a balance sounds one ama credit bureau for no who say you are depending on the credit card for your daily for your day-to-day and your transactions. Credit card is not for that purpose. It's just not made maybe we say the credit card system, it establishes character. And the character could go either way. In its way, a very responsible who say who is a crabby, not what yeah, I know what you are. Even so, better a big ticket item be maybe our plan B in a very short term, say. Everybody 12 real quickly, but in the meantime, and take advantage of maybe promotion be an needful, and yes, you just want it. I think we talked about those things in the past. And I don't know a better character, no, amount me a very disciplined, say, mountain manager CKE. On the other hand, and also no, service why her parts had not say, you know, rough that side of that, bad character, no, also keeps building. And I think that now can be about Ghana credit system. I don't know, say as having a say people do things on cash, and character, good character building, adding. If it's that there is nothing to compete, say, oh, okay, 17 with them a creditor, I'll go and get 15% interest at the bank for a loan. But say loan, no, Ghana, almost me charging interest by 35%. Not across the board, it doesn't matter our credit. There is no motivation to build our character, and plus, since there is no effective credit system, no, I can't cash in into no. People get more corrupt because they want to find ways of making cash to meet what they want. And I think that this system is good. It's able to build some good character as well.
Yeah, Penny, the was for the insight into this. Now, I'm glad, sir, you mentioned like character. On say, I get like the reputation for your credits and into say, what by in the lending system now, there is something we call like the 4 C's, which is your character, your capacity, collateral, and your capital. So there are the 4 C's in the lending arena now. Bank they're looking at that 4 C's, to determine say a loan we ma one as ma yemfa amount. The final year emsa medebeka ho ewo how you bet to be maintain and improve a kwan so making a payment, making on-time payment. You know, I always tell people, sir, the minimum payment in which year it will take you forever to pay it off. And it's not advised to say you only do the minimum payment, you know. But a bit me about bosumi bi but I tell people say to say then what make sure say you make that minimum payment of like that $29, you know. It will save you a lot than say me decide so mintua na metwan na next month mo metua. On say it's not a good idea because one of the things the credit system is looking for no is how responsible are you or disciplined are you, sir, and you are able to either make your minimum payment or make more than the minimum payment, you know. Into so you don't do on-time payment. Na de bia we late, de bia we later. You are guaranteed, sir, your credit will go bad. Into bomodden say nyame adom what you mean start establishing no make on-time payment. Say I see due date in the 15th, and so to me on the 10th. Do it on the 10th. Don't wait to the 15th, you know, before you even do it. So minimum payments now. Just do that. Next month, you know, sika for bounce somewhere, you can go ahead and make more than that. Next week, you better also with more information on how to build and maintain that. But yabema yempening for my or more closing words as yade and the jumadie no the banaria. Inti Dr. War, your final comment, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think this topic that we're discussing is very, very important topic, and we shouldn't take it lightly because it makes all the difference in our financial. It is one of the cornerstones in building wealth in this country. Credit, because people are using credit every single day to build wealth. People who know how to use credit and use it the right way, right? If you're in this country for the first time and you're trying to learn how to do it the right way. Follow the proper protocol, follow the right steps, and don't be greedy and don't be too in haste. Take your time, and if you're able to get the credit, manage it well, because the better you manage it, the easier it becomes to get bigger ticket items, and also the easier it is for you to be able to qualify for many, many things. Like they said earlier, right? Getting a job, getting an apartment. There's so many different ways that credit can affect you. So do not make that mistake by just thinking that just something you can just play with, because it can cost you a lot of money. It can cost you a lot of money, or it can help you make a lot of money. The strategy shows how you want to use it.
Thank you, Doug. Yes, Manny Isaac.
Murphy, I leave here. I'm in a meeting, please. Please, I'm in a meeting.
parent life.
Yes,
you see me here on my own here.
Yeah.
It'll be easy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, I'm saying
yeah.
So I'm saying
Yeah.
yes,
Very sorry. I should have muted my mute too. Oh my God.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. We understand. Don't worry.
Yes, Eddie. Then no more kind of say minimum payments. No make say $30. But more than $5 big count. They say no. So with me to even more. But they say to me $1, $2 big account minimum payments. You are talking about the 4 C's, you know, character capacity. You know, I was thinking hilariously, say that capacity represents your muscles. Right. It is also quite Jim Baby. You know. All right. Indeed. No.
Yeah. You're paying for it for the time, you know, today. Your viewers and so no, for taking the time, you know, to be with us, you know. And as we always say, you know, don't just take the information in, but use the information, you know, apply it to your daily financial being, and wherever you can make changes, you know, go ahead and make the changes, you know, and share the information also with your friends. Family members, you know, at the end of the day, you know, your finances. Nyame enhyira yɛ nyinaa till sɛ yɛbɛhyia biom next week. Nti mpanimfoɔ, Nyame enka mo.
Sure, yeah, was a phone.
Okay.
Okay.